So, we had set
Hmm.
up, a booth outside of the door of our
Right.
store. And so, but business was actually still going pretty good, man. So, we thought that, like, okay, we'll be okay. Our main location was doing
Hmm.
good, but our other locations were struggling. And around that same time, there was another business called Uncle Bud's in Nashville that they were really having some hard times too, man. And so
Hmm.
they actually closed two of their big locations. And they were, a restaurant staple in Nashville, man. I mean, these people have been around probably for 30 years. And
Hmm.
so they closed a couple of big locations. So there was a location they closed in out in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville, about 20 minutes away.
Hmm.
I've known the owners of that restaurant for a while. They knew me, and we actually supplied them with peach cobbler for
Hmm.
their restaurants. So they asked me. They said, "Man, we've got this one restaurant we've had to like shut down, due to COVID.
Hmm.
But I really think that a different concept would probably work there."
Hmm.
And so we thought about it, and we were like, man, I think and I think a lot of people thought this, a lot of restaurants thought this, a lot of businesses thought this, that COVID was kind of coming to an end, right? It
Hmm.
was like at one point it kind of things slowed down and
Right.
stuff
Right.
started opening back up a little bit, and so people thinking like, man, okay, finally, the masks were coming off a little, and then they figured out how people could sit in the restaurant and socially distance. so,
Hmm.
so all these new regulations were coming out. We're like, okay, you know what? Maybe things are picking back up. So we took this opportunity to take on this restaurant,
Hmm.
which was going to be a hybrid. It's going to,
Okay.
be we're going to offer like all the peach cobbler desserts, but then we were
Hmm.
going to have hot chicken as well.
Right.
And man, we took on a huge undertaking. First time we had ever done this. It
Hmm.
wasn't necessarily a peach cobbler factory location,
Right.
but it was kind of like a spin-off,
Okay.
of that. So we were excited to do it, man. And it's first couple weeks start off strong. I mean, lines out the door, and
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, the second wave of COVID came. And when that second wave of COVID came, man, it caught us off
Yeah.
guard, and literally, like, we were in a position where you know everybody started staying inside again.
Right.
People were ordering food and doing pickup, but nobody was
Right.
coming in restaurants
Nobody
again.
coming
So
in. Yeah.
we found ourselves where, yeah, we were just in a situation. We were over leveraged.
Hmm.
It hit us like fast, man. We weren't able to like pay our bills. I mean,
Hmm.
man, we were in a situation that we just never been in before. Really, like uncharted territory.
Nobody
And the
had.
same people, no, yeah, well, yeah, nobody had been through this, man, and we were
Hmm.
definitely not the only company, and I feel like, but we were at the time we were the most popular company.
Hmm.
So when it started happening to us, then that's when like all the attention, started focusing on like what we were doing, man, and the media was focusing on us, and
Hmm.
we end up actually closing that restaurant, and we end up having to close a couple of our peach cobbler factory locations too,
Hmm.
and then of course, man, anytime you have to close locations and anytime people lose their jobs, then they light you up on social
Yeah, they
media,
do.
man. And they lit
Yeah.
us up, man. They lit us up. And
Hmm.
so I see, man, if anybody was ever canceled, man, it was us.
Hmm.
So, man, they social media, man, man, they tore us apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They tore us apart. And so I'd never been in that situation before as a business owner, man. I mean, to be honest, just never was in that situation. I mean, people who I thought that I knew, people who I thought were friends,
Yeah.
man, people weren't talking to me anymore, and
Oh
man, people
wow.
were, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, people were weren't picking up my phone calls,
Hmm.
that even though that wasn't a peach cobbler factory location, we started losing business at the peach cobbler factory location as well.
Right.
Just because people were like, hey man, like all these people like lost jobs, and and you guys, not able to like, pay bills, and you're closing stores, and people just kind of, they forgot about the humanity part
Yeah,
of it
like,
with COVID. People just looked at you like the bad guy. You know what I mean?
and
And
so many businesses suffer like that.
yeah, oh yeah, 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 absolutely, man. And so, and people don't understand, as a small business owner, they see you, especially a popular business, they see
Mm-hmm.
you and they think that you just have all the money in the world.
Right,
And,
right.
they think like, oh, well, like I mean, he drives this kind of car, and he does this,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
he has a
Pocket
business,
watching.
and they see that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They see that, and they just automatically think like, oh, well, it's a scam. He just doesn't want to like pay people, or he just doesn't want to do this, and so we had employees that lost their jobs, man, which we felt like horrible about it. We were trying to like make people whole and just trying to
Right.
like do the right thing as best we could, but then our other stores were struggling, and so I'm gonna be honest, man. It was probably like the worst time in my life. It was the
Wow.
worst time in my life. Especially business wise, just
Mm-hmm.
not finding, never been in that situation before. And one day, like, I mean, literally in the middle of all this, man, I got a call from, well, I had reached out to a couple different people, and I'm like, man, this is what's going on. I don't know what to do,
Mm-hmm.
like, and I was just really like looking for like a mentor, and
Yeah.
so someone, I mean, I know that this was kind of like uncharted waters, man, but like someone who had kind of like, was able to kind of get through like similar challenges like this in
Right.
business. So reached out to a couple people, and then like, man, like one day my phone rang, and it was a guy by the name of Daryl Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people in Nashville know Daryl Freeman. He was a popular guy
Mm-hmm.
in the city. He had built a business. He was from Chattanooga, Tennessee, went to MTSU, and
Mm-hmm.
had built a tech business from scratch in Nashville, man. I mean, really like a self-made guy. He was able to exit from his business, sold his business for $24 million.
Mm-hmm.
Became just a real, yeah, man. This was a real
Mm-hmm.
powerful black guy,
Mm-hmm.
and owned about $100 million in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
He owned a lot of the real estate where the Dollar General stores were built all throughout the South. This
Okay.
guy like flew his own plane. He was a pilot. He was a chairman of a bank, a local bank in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, and I saw he actually lived the next neighborhood over from me, man. He lived in
Okay.
Governor's Club in Nashville, and I had one foot in Governor's Club and one foot still in Brentwood, man. I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
get to where he was,
Yeah.
and but I would see him. It's funny, like in between our neighborhoods, man. Like there was a Kroger,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a Kroger and a Publix right there, man. If anybody knows that area, Concord Road. And I would always see him. I never knew who he was, but I would always see him pull up to the Kroger with this black Ferrari. And I'm like, man, who is this brother? You know what I mean? And so he pulled up, right at the Kroger, man, in the Ferrari parked right in front,
Mm-hmm.
never knew who he was. But during this particular time, man, I ended up getting a call from him, and he said, man, like I know what you're going through. He
Mm-hmm.
said, don't quit, don't give up, don't throw in the towel.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, man, I want to help you. And he invited me out to the country club there. We met at the golf club,
Mm-hmm.
and man, he just sat down with me, man, and we just
That's
talked for
good.
hours, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I told him everything was going on, everything that I was going through, and it's so funny because at the time, all of what was going on only owed about $20,000, man. But
Right.
$20,000 at that time in my
Yeah. At
life,
that time. Yeah.
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 oh my God, bro.
Oh yeah. For
I mean,
sure.
it's like the walls were falling down. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And so, he asked me like straight up. He was like, man, what just kind of like what makes everything like work out? Like, what makes it better, man?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I told him, I said, look, man, I probably need like a partner to come
Mm-hmm.
in, and maybe, maybe I sell some of the company to you. He was like, nah, he's like, you don't want to do that. He was like, I want to help you. He was like, but no, you don't want me as an investor, man, because I'm gonna be on all on
Say
top
he
of you,
go right.
so he was was like, but
At
he was like,
least
I'm gonna
he's
help you do
honest.
it. And he was like, yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He was a
Mm-hmm.
real honest, straight shooter, man. And really, like in that conversation, by the end of that conversation, man, it felt like I was talking to like an uncle, like
Mm.
just a friend, And he said, man, I'm a mentor you. He was like, my family is a fan of the Peach Cobbler Factory. You probably don't know it, but like,
Okay.
my wife and kids, they've been to your food truck,
Mm-hmm.
and so, man, he in that one conversation, man, it turned my whole life around. And
Wow.
Okay.
so, he said, look, I know everything feels like the whole world is against you right now. He was like, but, like you, I'm with you. And so,
Yeah.
like, if I'm with you, you ain't got to worry
You ain't
about
got to
it,
worry about it.
And
Right.
so,
Yeah.
in that moment, man, I really like I felt like, okay, I'm gonna get through this, So
Mm-hmm.
he helped me get through that, man, and really, he said, look, you got to get out of Nashville because as long as you kind of have all your eggs in one basket,
Mm-hmm.
then people are going to just like keep trying to sabotage you or whatever, you know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so
Right.
he said, let me why don't you start looking at some different locations?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, let's buy some real estate together. And he said, I'll use, like his words were like, I'll use like, my money and my influence.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter if you've got credit or bad credit, good credit, or whatever the case may be.
Get
He was
it
like,
done.
let's buy real estate together and let me, help you get back on your feet and build a strong company
Mm-hmm.
on a solid foundation. So I started looking at locations outside of Nashville. I went to Atlanta. I went to
Mm-hmm.
Louisville, Kentucky. Eventually, we settled on Louisville, Kentucky. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, "Man, look, let's get on my plane and we'll fly up to Louisville."
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I'm telling you, man, this guy was like sent. He's like an angel.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's since passed away. So I mean, he really was like
Oh,
a
rest in
angel.
peace.
I mean,
Yeah.
and so this, we opened this store in Louisville, Kentucky, and in Louisville, Kentucky, I mean, literally, our first month in business, we did 70,000,
Wow.
and it was not only was it as good as Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
but it was better than
Okay.
Nashville. And he said, one thing he said to me, he said, look, he was like, man, just because like you're in a storm in one city, Nashville is not the end of the world.
Right.
Like it's a
Right.
whole big world out here.
Yeah.
And so just because of you got a few people in one city that are upset with you,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean
Yeah. Don't
anything.
give up.
And
Right.
so it really gave me like the confidence to really like get outside the box, get outside of Nashville, see a whole different world,
Mm-hmm.
man. See that like I mean when we opened those doors for our grand opening, I seen like the line literally going down the block.
Yeah.
And he said, look, man, he said if you're willing to listen and if you're willing to learn, he was like, I guarantee you in 1 year from now, you'll be a millionaire. He was like, I create millionaires. I mean,
Right.
that's straight up what he told me, man. He said, I create millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, man, it's like every time I tell the story, and I told it a million times, man, I get goosebumps because,
Mm-hmm.
in the summer of 2021,
Mm-hmm.
we started franchising. And as soon as we started franchising, man, not soon after that, I mean, literally, I became a millionaire just under his direction,
Awesome.
under his guidance, man.
Love
And
it,
and I'm not talking
man.
about like millionaire on paper, man. I'm talking about a million in the bank. You know what
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
saying? I'm talking like
Yes.
looking at pulling
Yeah.
up your Chase app,
Right.
and it's
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And the zeros
Yes.
are there.
Mm-hmm.
And then not too long after that, about a year after that, we began negotiations. I mean, we opened. They did an article on us where we expanded, into 10 states
Mm-hmm.
in 90 days in franchising,
Wow.
and people were doing articles on us that we were one of the fastest growing dessert
Change.
franchises in the
Right.
country.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, man, a little over a year into that, I had people coming to me, wanting to buy the company, and they
Mm-hmm.
were coming, man. They were opening up their checkbooks, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we were able to negotiate a deal. Everything that they asked me, I went back and asked Daryl,
Yeah.
And matter of fact, one of the last text exchanges, like between like me and Daryl before he passed away, was
Mhm.
that, man, like I told him, I said, man, look, I sold the company, man, and it's like, literally, I'm a multimillionaire. I mean, we
Yeah.
were just, I was just breaking down, crying at the governor's club, man,
Right.
telling you my sad story.
I was
Mhm.
going to ask
And
you how you felt when you saw that $70,000 a month. I didn't want to get too far away from that. That feeling
yeah,
of seeing those
yeah,
lines around the
Woo.
block after all you went through.
man, I tell you what, it was the sense of, when you go through a tough time like that, a lot of times you feel that, you know, it's something you did,
Mhm.
like it's, man, I've made a mistake. Maybe I am what they're saying, right? Maybe I am like
Right.
a
Right.
terrible person, like maybe I am like a bad businessman, like maybe I mean, and even like the attacks on me and my family, man, a lot of
Mhm.
it was personal. And
Yeah.
so you start believing that, like,
Mhm.
maybe,
You just
man,
constantly
like,
hearing it. Right.
exactly, man.
Yeah.
You really start to believe it. You really start to give up hope. It really starts to beat you down, man.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I mean, even like people who I thought were friends, man, just alienated me, man. Didn't want to be seen with me. Didn't want to talk to me. Like
Right.
if I went in a grocery store, man, I felt like people were going the opposite direction.
Let me
Yeah,
let
I
me
mean,
tell
I
let me tell
really felt like,
let me tell
yeah,
you something. Why I call it the scamdemic.
yeah,
The scamdemic was one of the hardest times for
yeah,
humanity ever. So
man,
many
for sure.
people lost friendships. A lot of people got
Yeah,
divorced. A lot of
yeah,
businesses, they failed because of
yeah,
what was going on. When you got people
yeah,
scared about their health, and
yeah.
we lost a lot of people too because of it.
Oh
And
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
it wasn't you. It definitely wasn't your family. It was people needed somebody to point a finger at. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and, and,
Yeah.
and that's really what it comes down to. Everybody needed a scapegoat to point the finger at, and nobody was looking at what the real problem was and what
Yeah.
was going on. So,
Right. Right.
to make it out of that is a definite success story in itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
listen,
It was.
and you know
It was.
what?
Yeah.
Humans
Go ahead.
are, sorry to cut you off, but
No. Go ahead.
humans are the only species that pay a price or suffer like more than once. You know what I'm saying? Like every
Hmm.
time you think about it, you kind of you beating
Yeah,
up on yourself.
yeah, it'll put you in the mood. Right.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
beating
Yeah.
up on yourself,
yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah.
it's just not healthy, man. And I just wanted to know a little bit more about that feeling because I'm sure you had to shed a tear, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The way
Absolutely,
everything
man.
turned around. I'm proud
Really.
of you, man.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Well,
I'm definitely
I,
proud
I
of you.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, like you said, that that grand opening weekend in Louisville, Kentucky, it really it showed me. I mean, really, man, if Daryl hadn't motivated me to kind of like pick up and like he said, man, look, get to another city, open
Yeah.
up, you'll see, man. It's
It's just an airplane passing through. Airplane passing through. Private
Yeah.
jets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, E man. That man,
Yeah.
it makes me feel a certain way, bro. I really can't even explain the feeling, but seeing the pain and all the hustle and bustle that he went through, it's really really deep, man. To come out the other side,
can you guys see me?
Yeah,
Yep. You bet.
you
Okay,
back.
all right, cool. So
Okay.
yeah, man, that first weekend hitting that, that grand opening, man, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing all those people out there, and uh,
Got him again.
Part 3. You dig?
Yeah, man. Listen, what he experienced, man, is that feeling. Let me tell
Yeah.
you something. After all we've been through, that right there that gave me goosebumps, man.
Me too, bro. Me too. It's like,
You
you
know,
know.
I felt I was empathetic over what he went through, because when you in it, sometimes people done jumped off bridges over those feelings.
Oh
Those
yeah, man.
yeah.
I've seen it, and during that time I traveled still a lot.
Maybe we need to stop talking about this subject too. What's going on?
am I back? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you great now. Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm gonna say one last thing about this, and hopefully I'm able to kind of like get through it, man. But this is a funny thing because we were talking about Big Fella at the beginning of the show,
Mm-hmm.
and Big Fella's niece actually worked for me.
Okay.
And so when all this was going on, like initially she
Man.
No, man, it's funny, man. We gonna look back at this, cause all this is being taped, so it's like,
Yeah.
see what we
Yeah.
went through to make this happen. And I'm gonna be honest, I was nervous starting this off because I started. I ain't gonna say I'm a perfectionist, but people's time is really important. And he and we were going back and forth trying to set this up.
Right.
And,
Trying to get up on point.
Yeah.
Right.
And you see, his time is valuable.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Am I back in there?
Yeah, you back, Juan.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. So Big Fella, man, his niece worked for me, so she was one of the people, man. We were like kind of, when we closed that location, man, we were like slow on like just getting some people paid. She was one of the people, so Big Fella like called me up, and she was like, man, my niece, she's a college student, man. We got to get her taken care of. And I'm like, man, look, say less, bro. We move her to the top of the list, man. We get that straightened out like ASAP, man. So
Yeah.
we were able to kind of get her like straightened out like really quick. And it's funny, man. The next time I saw like Big Fella, man, I don't know if you guys heard this story, but literally the next time I saw Big Fella, he was like, man, come on out to the office and talk
I
to
heard this
me
story.
me and Walt, man. Like the
Yeah.
lawyer.
Okay.
And so the next time I saw him, man, I'm pulling up in a Rolls Royce, man.
Yeah, he
Oh,
told me.
man.
You got to see me?
Love it.
I feel you, though. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that energy real, man.
Yeah, Big Fella told me, he said, man, next time I saw Juan, he pulled up in a brand new Rolls Royce.
Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it, man. It's, Yeah.
Listen, and he talked to me about his niece. She wasn't getting paid for a minute.
Uh-huh. Wow.
All right, man. I'm back in here, man.
Yeah, let's go.
We're gonna make it do what it do, man. But Big Fella told me that next time he saw you, you put up the brand new Rolls, man.
Yeah, man.
Gotta love
Rolls, man. And it's funny, man. Like Daryl Freeman, my mentor. He's like, look. He was like, treat yourself, buy a toy. He was like, just promise me this. He was like, man, you buy.
They don't want to see him shine.
Yeah, man. He giving them great moments, man. Come on now. Come on now, man. But it's good. We got the power of editing,
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna make this.
Yeah, man. He dropping some jewels, man. He dropping real jewels.
Yeah, man. I'm back in here, man. I'm gonna have to get like one. I'm gonna go like old school and get the little landline connection, man. And,
yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug in, bro.
Yeah.
Man, you know, your information and just your wisdom, man, is priceless. We can't risk this.
Yeah, I think it. Can you guys see me?
No, you back out.
Yeah, you out,
I'm
but
back out.
we hear you though.
Yeah,
We
man,
hear you.
I'm gonna have to. Let's see, man. I'm gonna have to.
Say it again, E.
Now I want to see, did he disconnect his Wi-Fi in the beginning?
Yeah, it might have clicked back on. You know, sometime after a while, the Wi-Fi will click back on.
Yeah.
You back, Juan? Well, you was back. I think you just cut it back off.
Yeah.
Man, I love to hear these type of stories, man. You know, that's the goal when you go through it, and you know.
But now consider we talked to him when he wasn't able to pay people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, he
right,
walking us through it. Okay, yeah, you back now, Juan.
I'm back.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that was that was crazy, man. And I went, man. The first time that wire hit my account, man, when I first sold the business, man, they sent me $1 million like the first day.
Right.
And I told Daryl, I said, man, he was like, look, he was like, if you're gonna buy an expensive toy, I'm still out, bro.
He probably need to go all the way back out and come back in again.
Yeah.
Pause. Pause.
All right, man. We're gonna try it one more time.
All right. Yeah, you back. You back. So what you said?
Yeah, but yeah, man. I was able, man. I was fortunate enough, man. Just on, you know, like to be able to pay cash, you know, for that, man. And yeah. And
talk
so,
that talk.
you know, I told Daryl. I said, he was like, man. He was like, you know, his motto was, you know, was to finance real estate, pay cash for the toys, you know.
Right.
And so, you know,
finance real estate and pay cash for the toys.
Take that dagger and be done with it. You don't want to be paying no interest payments on the toy.
Right.
And let the real estate pay the interest with the cash flow. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's a difference when you got big money, but as far as I mean, the average everyday people, I wouldn't advise going and buying a new car today. Let the first person take the hit, unless you got a business like how his business is set up, and you know you're dealing with millions of dollars. Then you can do those type of things, and you know you got your real estate that'll take care of everything. But for the average people, y'all don't do it like that. You know, don't spend your last, and then you broke and you can't afford the maintenance. Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to. I wonder if
I wonder, can he still hear us?
Learn that with us, and it's not CNN or nothing.
Yeah. Hopefully he can just go all the way back out, you know.
Well, I'm gonna go into closing. If somebody else is listening,
We got to bring Juan back, man.
yeah,
We okay. So we heard the first part and what it took to build the business, scale it, and we got to hear the end
yeah.
results.
Hey Juan, so this is
Yeah,
we'll
it's a good thing you guys called me at night, man. Ain't no way I could do this during the
yeah.
day, man. But yeah,
For
so
sure.
it's the last thing I got going on today, so it's all good, man. But no,
Okay.
it's a good thing you called me after hours, man. It's definitely on my end. I don't know what it is, man, but
Yeah. So listen, if somebody we want to bring you, I'm gonna have to bring you back on for a part two,
Yeah,
man. We just
yeah. We need you
you.
back,
yeah.
Juan. We definitely need you back.
Oh man, man, I'd love to talk to you guys, man. Again, it's no problem, man. So
If somebody is listening, want to build a franchise brand today, what where should they start? Should the business be at a certain revenue level, or how should they look at that?
yeah, so I work with new franchises, emerging franchises. That's a big part of what.
We're gonna.
I'm trying to figure out what could that be. Well, he did say, well, kind of where he at, like he's kind of by the
Yeah.
mountains and stuff, and then the weather too. That got a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that's what we'll do, man. Because you're probably gonna keep kicking out.
Yeah.
Let's schedule a part two.
Okay.
You kind of go over whatever you can go over. We schedule part two.
Yes.
We kind of left off on you going up right now. You didn't got the check.
Yeah.
And what do you do next? Oh,
You disappear. That's what you do next. You got the money. You disappear.
hold on, let me call.
You take off on that private jet. You take off on that private jet. You disappear.
Hey Juan, this is what we're gonna do. I'm about to have you just call in the show. Okay. Yep, let's do that. Okay, hang on one second. I'm about to send you. I'm gonna text you when to call. I just gotta connect this phone real quick. All right. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know about y'all people, but things like this, I know my brother Eric, man, this gets us excited. We love to hear things like this, man. This is some of the greatest information that you can get to motivate you to get to that next level. You know, he
Yep.
he's showing you and he's telling you, it's ups and downs and whatever business that you're dealing with. He's dealt with multiple type of businesses, from state to state, city to city, and he had to find what works for him. And sometimes you got to bring somebody else in. He found a mentor. He had connections, and they went the real estate route. They bought the real estate, and then he brought the business back. So sometimes you gotta pivot, and it's nothing wrong with having guidance from somebody else. Sometimes you can do all you can do, and it's still not enough. So you got to bring somebody else in to help you, pivot and move to the next level. And if anybody ever had a business before, it's hard trying to do everything yourself. It just
Oh
don't.
yeah.
It just don't really work. And even your smallest business, it don't work. You gotta have somebody else, even if it's just accounting. You gotta have a good lawyer. And You know, you could be the best at something. You could be the best pie maker or the best mechanic or whatever in the world, but if you don't have somebody that's great at advertising, that's great with the numbers, and the right location, that can change everything. You know, he moved, a state over or a state or two over, and the business just blew up. So yeah, don't give up, people. Sometimes you just gotta change the way you doing business or move the business and then come back if that's what you want to do. I think a lot of times, we all get stuck on where we are and trying to make it happen, where we're from or, where we're stationed at. And we don't even think outside the box of going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because, just talking about New Orleans, if it's so many seafood spots in New Orleans because that's just what it is. So you got a lot of competition. But if you take that same restaurant from New Orleans and seafood and then you move it to Idaho, you could just blow up because nobody else has that business model that you have.
Yep. Hang on 1 second. I think.
Yeah. And one thing's for sure, I could tell he listened to the people. When the people said, "Look, this we're buying this," and they coming into the business and they supporting. You gotta listen to the customers. They're gonna tell you what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, definitely a good show, man.
Great
It's
show,
one of those
brother.
things. We all in different states, so
That's the greatest thing about social media right now. I don't think
technology.
99% of the people that's on social media are not using it really what it's for, which is this networking and bringing brands together, having business meetings and you know bringing this information to the people. It's being used more for wicked stuff than anything.
Yeah.
But
That's what it is. I'm not on Wi-Fi. All right.
so y'all getting the first hand of what goes on to building the brand. We're building right now, so y'all see the ins and the outs of what goes on. Sometimes things happen out of your control and you just got to deal with it. You know, but still you got to go hard in the paint before you get to that slam dunk.
Yep. And that's the realest thing you just said. Everybody thinks that this is everybody think you just get a quantum leap.
Yeah,
You just wake up and boom, I'm at the top.
it don't work like that.
No.
We've been doing this for a while.
Uh,
Even before social media.
yeah.
We've been doing a lot of networking and stuff, for many many years and stuff. I'm out here in LA. I think when me and my partners out here, we started the Plug Radio show. That was in like 2016, I believe, 2016 to 2017, and we went through a lot of these same type of things, and dealing with different artists and different movie stars and stuff coming in. So you know, scheduling, it's a lot to deal with.
Yep. Here we go, Dave. This should work right here.
Yeah, but travel people, network, you know. Like I say, he in Vegas right now. I'm in Hollywood. He in Tennessee and Nashville. You know, we networking city to city, state to state, and we bringing it all together. You know, and so just think about it when you go to different places. You know, you got somebody that you can talk to, and you know, stop in the business, support the business when y'all see it. The y'all see the peach cobbler factory. Y'all stop in there, man. You know, grab some merch. You know, and send it to the channel. Send it to the Pattern Disruption podcast, and you know, take a picture with some of the food and you know some of the t-shirts or whatever merchandise that you pick up while you're in town. You know, y'all get off a plane at any of the locations because it's multiple locations across the United States now. So,
Yo, boy. Here we go.
and if you're trying to scale a business or you're trying to go into a franchise, definitely reach out. You know, Eric has all the contacts in the description.
Yeah. Hey, man, I know. Oh, there it is. Hang on. Yeah, I had to kick out of the Wi-Fi,
Okay.
and then it's terrible. Okay, here we go. I found it. Just don't give up, man.
Yeah. Don't give up.
Just don't give up. And
It's a big check at the end, or multiple checks at the end, and a Rolls Royce or whatever vehicle that you always wanted at the end of that grind that you put in, that hustle.
yeah, you heard what he said.
It'll pay off. And like he said, he had a plan, and he was trying to get to the next place. You know, you say trying to get from Brentwood to the governor's was it governor's spot where his mentor was at. You know, so you could take those steps, and you'll get there. And all this happened over time. You know, it's no you can't rush it. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen, and who it's supposed to happen with.
It said password was incorrect. Hold on, man. What are y'all talking about? Oh, I did. I see what I did wrong. Okay. You know, you missed those little underscores.
Yeah,